This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So yesterday we started with the new tool Jenkins. We installed Jenkins and we went with some of the options in the manage Jenkins here. In that we had a look at the configure system, configure global security, and manage plugins. Okay. And we also looked at manage users, like how we can create users. Like we created a developer user and provided him limited access. Okay, so that is, you can go to manage Jenkins. That we have got global security. So once the user is created, you can go here and then based on the matrix based security, you can add the user here. So to add the user, you simply can click here, add the user, and then provide the necessary access to that particular user. Okay. So we added an admin user, we made him as an administrator, we gave him all the access. And the developer, we added a user as developer, we gave him the read access here like this. Okay. So this is what we have seen yesterday. Today we'll continue with creating jobs in Jenkins. Okay, so either you can click here, create new jobs to get started, or you can also click on the new item. Okay, let's click on new item. Here we can see there are lots of options here. So let's get started with the freestyle project. We'll also have a look at Maven and pipeline to follow with. Okay, so let's go with the freestyle project. We'll give a name. Can give it as a name like freestyle project. Okay, and we'll say okay. Right here, this is the general description page where we can add the details about what this job is doing, right? What type of project it is. So this, for now, we will write it as this is a sample freestyle project. Okay. Each of these options you can just explore here. Nothing much we'll be using from here. Like you can click on the help option and it will give you the details as to what this option is trying to do here. So we'll not be using much, so we'll just skip this part in the general and we'll go to the source code management. Okay. Some of these things are very general, like disable the project, throttle the builds, like after when you say throttle, minimum time between the builds based on the desired magnitude. So some of the things we can just explore, nothing much to explain here. Okay, execute concurrent builds if necessary. You can check with the options there and select it. Okay, parameterized project also, like if you want to pass some parameters, prompt the user to provide some inputs, you can go with the parameterized job. Okay. Coming to the second tab, that is source code management. So for us, we will be using Git. Okay, and that will be in the next job we create. We'll be selecting Git and we'll be working with that. Like that, you can have different source code management because we installed Git plugin. We are able to see Git here. If it is Bitbucket or SVN or Perforce, you need to install the plugin, and that option will be available here to select. So once you select this, you'll be able to give the repository details and select which branch and credentials and other things here.
I have a question.
So we'll look have a yeah please.
In the source code management, okay, now I want some other one like Git. I want something other. So can I reinstall in the middle, or should I need to reinstall from? I mean, install from the beginning, the Jenkins.
No, no, nothing like that. So what you can do is, so let me save this for now, and I can go to the Jenkins in that, um, go to Manage Jenkins
Okay.
and Manage Plugins here, right? So when we install Jenkins, we selected few of the plugins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can now go and install any of the plugins from this available tab. Okay, let's say I want to install Bitbucket. Okay, so I can go and select like this. There are lots of plugins, so this is the one we'll be interested in. Okay, so Bitbucket I'll select. Okay, likewise, I can even go and say I want SVN. Okay, so I can select SVN, but you need to be just aware like what it is doing. Maybe SVN compatibility, latest one we can select from here. Or if, let's say I want TFS, I can even go with the TFS there. Right, so now once I select this plugin, I can click on install without restart. Okay, so I want to install this plugin without any restart. Let me click on this option. So anytime, so in Jenkins, everything is managed via the plugins, right? So any additional things you want to be get it done, you have to go to the plugins, but you need to be aware what plugins you want to install. So the option is you go to the available tab and start typing the name. If you're not sure, you can just Google it and say, okay, I want Bitbucket uh, plugin for Jenkins, right? So you should be redirected to this tab here, and you can go and see that there is a plugin already available for Bitbucket. Okay, so there's a plugin already there. You just have to type the name as Bitbucket, and that will be enough to get started there. Okay, where was that? All right. Okay, so we have installed the Bitbucket plugins here. So I can either restart here, and there's also an option to restart from here as well. If I want to restart Jenkins, I can click on this, okay, or I can even type restart here to restart Jenkins again. Okay, so let's go and see now back. This is some error here. Just ignore that. I think it's not. Okay, that's fine. So let's go with the Jenkins now. So already this is a project that we started, right? So if you want to again edit it, you need to go to the configure option here. And now in the source code management, you should be able to see this is the Bitbucket TFS subversion what we installed there. Right? The repository URL, everything we can select and get started with that. Um, did that help you? Because I think,
Yeah, I'm good.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, so this is how you can go and add in more plugins to get the options here in the source code management, right? So let's go to the next build triggers here. So again, there are lots of options here with the build triggers. Build triggers like in the sense how do you want this job to be triggered? What are all the options you have, right? So you can remotely trigger it. Again, I'm not going into the details. Like most of this triggers are available, but the one we are interested is in the GitHub hook trigger, right? So this will be configuring in the coming sessions. But the same thing is available with TFS, Bitbucket. You can even build periodically. Let's say you can schedule when you want this job to be run. So for that, you can refer to the cron. This is called as a cron table, right? So there are 5 options you need to provide. First one is a minute, second is the hour, day of the month, and day of the week. So this is all provided here. So based on this, you can, there are some examples also given here, right? There are some examples like if you want to schedule every 15 minutes, so you need to go with this options here, right? So you can refer to the example and even schedule the build periodically, right? If you want to schedule every 15 minutes, every day at certain time you want to schedule, you can go with that one, right? All right. So you can also build after other projects are built. This is one more option. You can even poll the source code management. Let's say I want to poll every 5 minutes, 10 minutes and see if there are any changes that happen in the GitHub or Bitbucket repository. Get the changes and start the build. Right? So this is also an option there. So out of this, we'll be interested more in the GitHub hook trigger that we'll be seeing in the next class there. Right? So we're just exploring how what all the different options are there for now in this example. Okay, build environment again, uh, nothing much here. So there is a workspace, right? So whenever you start the build, a folder called as workspace is created. So if you want to delete that space every time the build starts, you can checkbox this one. Any secrets text you're using, you can select this. Abort the build if the build is stuck like for say 15 minutes or 30 minutes, you want to abort it, you can go and do that. You can add timestamps to the console by checking this one. Okay, so that's the build environment. And finally, we have the option called as build. So this is where the actual build happens. So you can select the steps here. Let's say you are having a Windows machine, you can go and select Windows batch command. Or if you are having a shell, if you're using a Linux machine, you can go with a shell. Okay, I'll click on the shell and you get this option here. Likewise, you can keep on adding multiple shell here. So it'll add one more. So what it will do is it will first execute this particular shell and then it will execute this one. You can even change the order like this if you want to. Okay, you can change it like this. So let's go and simply display and say welcome to uh, Jenkins freestyle job. Okay, and the same thing we'll just say, just type it as a welcome here. Okay, so what it will do is first it will go and execute this shell and then execute this shell. Okay, and let's see what are the post build actions. So once the build is complete, you might like to send an email, right? You want to publish something, right? You want to build other projects, you want to archive. There are lots of things. You want to aggregate some test results, collect some results from TFS. So a lot of things can be done after the build is complete, right? So there are lots of options here, right? So you can select email, or based on your requirement, you can select, or let's say you want to delete the workspace, you want to trigger something, you want to set up build status. There are a lot of options you can select from here. Okay. So for now, let's save this and see how the job is being run. Let's save this one. And to build this project, we can click on build now option. So right now you can see there's nothing in the build history. You'll be now seeing a build will be triggered here. Okay, so this is the build that is triggered here. So I can click on this build and go to the console output. Okay, it will say who has started this build, who is the user, that is the admin. I'm logged in, and what it is doing, it is simply displaying the echo command. Okay, welcome to Jenkins. This is the first execute shell, and this is the second execute shell, and the build is successful. All right. So this is how you can create a job, like a freestyle project. You go to the freestyle project, and then you can get started with creating a job. So all these jobs are available here. You can see them over here. And whichever job you want to build it, you can manually go and click on that particular job and click on the build now option. So the build will be shown in the build history, right? You can see, and it'll give the timestamp and when the job was built. Right? If you click on that again, you can go and check the console output for the details. Okay, so this is how we can simply create a freestyle project. Right, so let's coming back to like we want to build Java-based application, right? So for that, what we'll do is um, we'll first install Maven, right? There are tools to build the Java-based application. Okay, let's have a look at them first. So what we okay, yesterday we saw that we want to build the application, right? So in order to build a Java application, so we have a tool called as Ant, and even we have a tool called as Maven, a tool called as Gradle. So these are the three tools that are there in the market to build the Java-based applications. Okay. And if you want to build some .NET applications, then you can go with MS Build. MS Build is a tool to build the .NET applications, right? And for Gradle, Gradle also builds applications like you can go with React um, and Node.js, React.js. So all these projects also it is capable of building, right? But to learn this tool, you need to understand something called as Groovy language. You need to have an understanding of Groovy language because you'll be defining all the properties and things in the Groovy language. So this needs a little bit of understanding of Groovy. The more popular one is Maven. The less popular is Ant. Gradle, it depends on the project. Some people use Gradle and some use Maven. So Maven also is a tool. So it creates a project structure, creates a Java project structure. Like when we say project structure, every Java project has got its own folder structure. Like it starts with source, then we have got something like I don't remember. It's like something Java, then tests, and then we will have some structure like this. Right? So in order to create this project directory, we can make use of Maven and also build the Java-based application. Right? So in that sense, let's install Maven on our server, and we will build one application with a Java project. So any questions till this point? So we'll go with the Maven download. Let's connect to the Okay, I've connected here. So now let's switch to the root user with the command switch to the root. Now I'm connected to the root user. So here, usually when we download something, we go to the OPT folder. There is a folder called as OPT. So we'll download all the files here and we'll install the Maven. Okay. So let's clear this and we'll go to OPT folder. Okay. So let's install the Maven now. So we'll go here, we'll get the um, tar file. This is a tar file for, so in Windows machines and all, we use the zip archive, but in terms of Linux machine, we go with the tar bundle. So let's take this, copy the link. So we will go with the option to wget and we'll download this file. Okay, the file has been downloaded. So we will extract the file with the command tar, like how you extract the file zip, right? So this is a tar bundle. So it is in the gzip format. So we'll unzip the file here. Okay, the file is unzipped. So we'll see that. So this is the file created. So we'll create a soft link Apache, the name Maven. What this will do is this Maven folder is pointing to this particular folder structure we extracted. Okay, this is called as a soft link that we can create. All right. So let's go to the Maven folder. Here in the Maven folder, we'll have the bin directory. Here is where our Maven tool is available. So if I type in Maven and go with the version, okay, this saying command is not found. I need to add it to the path variable. Okay, so let me clear this. Um, let's create a path variable. Let's create a variable like Maven home. We'll say export. Let's go back to our user DevOps demo, and we will go to the file /etc profile. Okay, go and say Shift G. You'll go to the last option here, last end of the page. Here we will add the Maven home. Okay, so let's add the Maven home here. Okay, it is in OPT Maven folder. So this we'll add it here. And we'll also export the path variable is equal to $path colon $maven okay, /bin folder. Okay, so these two entries will make it. One is the Maven home, it is pointing to OPT Maven, and the path variable, we are taking the existing path variable, we are appending the Maven home, and bin directory, we are putting it here. That's it. So once you save this file now, and then we will source this file to memory, etc profile. That's it. So we are done with this. Now if you want to check $maven home, Okay, it is set. Now if you type maven version, you should be able to see the maven version. So now maven is installed. This is a home directory. It makes use of the Java runtime, and this is the version is installed now. Okay, so that's good. Now what we'll do is um, we'll try to understand a little bit of maven, what it is. So for that we have to go and see maven in 5. There is a repository like maven in 5 minutes. This is very good article, so you can refer to this. It is giving a very good explanation about what maven is. Okay, so maven version we have seen. With the maven version we got these details. Now how do we create a project, right? This is how the project structure looks like. Standard project structure will be in this format. It will be having a source folder, under that main, then Java, then tests, and like that. So this is how the standard folder structure is there. It is the source, main, and Java. Right. So Maven, using Maven, you can create this standard project structure. For that, we need to provide some details. Like we, from the command line, we want to generate this standard structure. So for that, we have to go with some of these commands, right? So one is the archetype generate. Okay, this group ID, artifact ID, there are certain things we need to understand. Okay, there is a file. Once you create a project directory, there is a file created as pom.xml. In that, you'll get all this group ID, artifact ID, right, and the version details, right? So this is what we are providing in the input when we start creating the project. So one is the group ID. This hyphen D is the parameter we are passing. Hyphen D, wherever you see hyphen, these are the parameters. Hyphen D, artifact ID, what type of artifact ID archetype, that is quick start, and what is the version we want to go with, and things like that. So just copy this. So what it will create is it will create an folder with my app, right? So this is the project name here. Okay, artifact ID. So let's copy this and run this command. We'll go to the folder here and run this particular command. So it'll connect to a centralized repository like repo maven. So there is a centralized repository from where it will start downloading the project structure, right? So it has finally completed. What it has done is this is a group ID, artifact ID is my app, this is a version, and all the details you can see here, right? So this is where the folder is there, home DevOps my app. So let's try to look into that folder now. We'll go to my app. Let's see if the tree structure is there. Tree command is not there. Let's install the tree command. Sudo yum install -y tree. It is installed. So we'll go with this command and try to display what's there in the my app folder. So you can see that in the my app folder we have got a file that is pom.xml and the project structure that we were talking about. So this is how the project structure looks like. And we'll also have a look at the pom.xml file. So for that, let's go to the pom.xml file. This is called as a project object module. So you need not worry about what this file is there. Just you need to understand that this file is generated. Okay, so we need to go to my app /pom.xml file. Okay, So this is how the file is created. So this is a group ID. Just remember that it's GAV, like group ID, artifact ID, and the version. Okay. Version is like any initially you're building something, you need to say that this is version 1.0. Snapshot is, it is always keep on changing. Snapshot, when we say snapshot, so it will be 1.0, and you can keep on incrementing the versions when you're building it. And this is your project name. Some group ID also we need to provide in this format. In this file you also see some dependencies here, like JUnit is a dependency to build Java-based unit test cases, right? So that is a dependency, what version it is. So all the dependencies will be mentioned in this particular file. And this file is taken care by the developer. So we need not worry about this file. So developer is responsible for adding in all the dependencies and maintaining this pom.xml file. Okay. So our job is to just build this one. So I'm just showing you the example, like how the pom.xml file looks like. Okay, there are a lot of things here. Some of the plugins, Maven resources plugin, all plugins will be downloaded here. Okay, so that is the end of this file. So we'll not save this, right? All right. So we have now configured Maven. We also have had a look at how the project structure looks like. And this is the POM is called as a project object model, this pom.xml file. We're using this file only to build the project that we'll see in the next options. So any questions till this point? I think a lot of things we have done, we have installed. And so do you want me to stop it here? We'll continue tomorrow?
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you need to go and go back and just have a look at this recording and start installing, because if I continue, I think it'll be like yeah, it might be a little boring as well. So, but yeah, I think we'll stop it here. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
What about Vikas?
Yeah, we can stop here. Better for me to. I'm also a bit confused, so I need to get back to class again.
Yes, sure, definitely. All right. So with that, we'll stop here. In tomorrow's session, we will have a look at more of the Maven. What are the different stages we have in Maven, where we validate, we generate, we compile, a lot of things are there. So that we'll be seeing in the tomorrow's session. All right. Thanks for joining then. We'll talk tomorrow then.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Karthik. I think he's